Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on federalism. This is our second lesson on this topic. Last time, we focused on the origin of federalism in Ethiopia and the price paid for it. We learned that federalism is based on a principle known as the devolution of power. This means that authority is delegated or transferred from the federal government to regional or local administrations. The devolution of power helps to avoid a monopoly of power. In this lesson, we will continue to talk about federalism. Our focus today will be on the differences of authority between the federal and regional governments in Ethiopia. We will also learn about the common domain of the federal and regional administrations. Let us begin. We will open this lesson with a review question from last time. Students, what organizing principles guide Ethiopia's federal system?
Students, let's get ready. Begin.
Time's up.
let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back. I hope you were able to remember the answer to this question from our last lesson. Ethiopia's federal system is organized according to a principle of ethno-cultural or ethno-linguistic diversity. Ethiopia is made up of 9 regional states that have been created according to this principle. Federalism in Ethiopia allows the right to self-determination, which means that the different states can control their own social and cultural development. This system hopes to create a situation of unity in diversity within Ethiopia. Were your answers similar to these? If so, well done. The transformation in Ethiopia's political structure to a federalist democratic system has been radical. This is because previously, Ethiopia's state formation was always based upon a highly centralized and unified power. The federalist system has introduced and promoted the principle of self-determination, which Ethiopia has never before experienced. It is also a pioneering transformation. In creating a federal system based on the principle of self-determination, Ethiopia has gone further than any other African state. Cultural equality was one of the demands of the nations, nationalities, and peoples of Ethiopia. The government that denied the people the right for cultural equality faced strong resistance. Ethiopia has always been a very diverse country, and the absence of tolerance of this diversity has led to some conflict. The establishment of federalism, which promotes respect for the nations, nationalities, and people of Ethiopia, has done much to reconcile and resolve these conflicts. Under the Constitution of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, power is divided between the federal government and the 9 regional states. There is a federal constitution, and the regional governments each have their own constitutions. These address the specific conditions for each state. The federal constitution explains the fundamental principles upon which the federal and regional governments are based. These constitutions define the relationship and power divisions between federal and regional governments. Some powers reside exclusively in the federal government, while others reside in the authority of the regional governments. For some things, power is concurrent between them. This means that the federal and regional governments share certain areas of administrative power or organization. Students, in a moment, you will see a list appear on the screen. Take a few minutes to identify each item on the list as belonging to the jurisdiction of the federal government or the regional governments. Do not forget that sometimes they share responsibilities. Go ahead, students. I will see you in a few minutes.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that task. Let us go through it together. Matters of foreign policy are the responsibility of the federal government, which is also in charge of matters of national security and defense. Managing education and the police are the responsibilities of each regional government. The collection of tax and revenue is a concurrent responsibility, meaning that the federal and regional governments each exercise power in this area. Regional governments are in charge of matters of health. Were these your answers? Good work. Students, in what ways does federalism empower the citizens of Ethiopia? Please write down your answers.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again. Federalism is aimed at empowering citizens to exercise power and authority within their own area. It builds confidence by allowing and encouraging people to manage their own affairs. It also helps citizens to feel a sense of responsibility toward themselves and each other, creating self-reliant and independent people. Federalism paves the way for unity within diversity by encouraging Ethiopians to respect each other's rights. When different groups are allowed the right to self-determination, they are able to appreciate diversity in a positive way. Equality and respect allow for peaceful and supportive relationships. Students, this is the end of our second lesson on federalism. We have talked today about the differences of authority between the federal and regional governments. We have discussed the benefits of a federal system in Ethiopia. In our next lesson, we will learn about Ethiopia's international relations. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.